There's someone mowing the lawn outside, and I pray to God that you can't hear it. Anyway, hello, what's up guys? I'm Kyle from KGR, and this is not the Sonic Heroes Collection 3-pack exclusive to Target. I bought that for my niece before I started collecting these figures, and now it's discontinued and I don't want to pay a lot of money. So I bought these figures individually, which worked out in my favor because I really needed this Chaos Emerald. So we're going to unbox each one, we're going to compare it to a couple other figures, and I already completed the Modern Collection, and for the most part, I think I do have every character in the Classic Collection. They're just mostly in the box, I just gotta unbox them. I have just about every 2.5-inch character too. I don't have all the bad nicks, and I think Trip just came out, so I gotta find her in the wild. But for these videos, we're just gonna focus on the 4-inch collection, which isn't very popular, but that's okay. I want them anyway. So we're going to go on each figure individually, so we're going to move Tails and Knuckles to the side, and we're going to focus on just Sonic for now. So with Sonic, as part of the whole Classic Collection, we got the whole Classic branding with this updated logo and saying how it says Classic. And they each come with a little accessory. This one comes with a little speed-up monitor. Then on the back, it shows how he's articulated and how what other figures were in this wave, which this was a very good wave because I loved Jet, which from what I hear is getting re-released. So that's really exciting. We got Super Silver, which was one of the last ones we unboxed recently, so that was really exciting. And then we have the Tails that comes with his little, I forget what this is called. The Tails Electronic, I think that's where Miles Electronics, it's one of the two. Point is, we have this whole wave, and I find that really funny. 11 points of articulation, comes with a monitor, little bio right here. The world's fastest blue hedgehog. Sonic runs at ultra high speeds and can curl up into a spiky ball to protect himself from attacking enemies. Oh, and attack enemies. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know how to read. But, speaking of, it would be kind of nice to have a Sonic in a spin ball like that. That would be kind of cool. But this is a Sonic figure we see all the time, just plaguing the Target little, I don't know, the little hook or shelf, whatever you want to say. Point is, we see this one very often. It's not very special to a lot of people. But funny enough, I didn't have a 4-inch Classic Sonic before I started collecting these and started doing the unboxings for these figures. So I actually had to go out of my way and actually find this one in particular, because this is the one I wanted. I think there's like 2 other variants that are pretty common, and then there's like one of those special Jakks Pacific gold figures, which I have no idea where you're supposed to find those, by the way, outside of like Ross. So I guess we're just going to open this up and get a first impression, because I've never actually played with these before. I saw my niece's when I bought hers for her birthday, and I thought, man, these things are pretty cute. I kind of want these. Especially the Tails when that came out. That thing was so stinking cute. Because at the time, like, Tails was actually exclusive to that triple pack, but now you can buy him by himself. And he's actually pretty easy to find. I find him pretty often. And thankfully nothing is tying Sonic down either. So it was an easy unboxing for the most part. Just still very noisy, so we're just going to get rid of this. And here is Classic Sonic! So here's a closer look at Classic Sonic. It gets a lot of flack for having the weird shaped arms, and I know there's a couple other variants that have like slightly different faces, but this is the one I wanted in particular. Having his mouth open a little bit, if it was like just his teeth, I think it would look fine, but having just a standard smirk would have been perfect, honestly. But having articulation in his knees but not his elbows is a little bit weird, but that's okay. Yeah, this set's not very popular in particular because it doesn't really scale well with the 4-inch figures from Modern Sonic. But I like these 4-inch ones because they add more detail since they're bigger, and I just think they're cute. I like them a lot. I gave my cat catnip before I started recording this video. And now she's like tweaking at the window. She's like scratching at the window. She wants out desperately. Articulation's like fairly basic, you know, like moving the head, universal shoulders, ball jointed ankles and wrists, knee bend, and universal legs. Like he's fine. And again, personally, I think he looks cute. I like him. Can he stand up by himself? There we go. I think. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, he can stand up. That's good. Now, I do want to compare him to a couple figures. Like, for example, if you're collecting the Modern Collection, I'm looking over there because that's where my collection is. But if you're collecting the Modern Sonic Collection, you're typically going to have the 2.5-inch Sonics to pair with it. Because It looks a little bit better in scale. It's still not the scale, but it looks better compared to the 4-inch. But here is the 2.5-inch classic Sonic. Like, I love the way the smile looks so much better. Like a little smirk on the smaller figure rather than what we got on a bigger figure. But personally, I love the better build quality of the bigger one. I just think overall just looks really good. I don't think one figure is going to be better than the other because I think they both serve their purposes and also have the same weaknesses for the most part. I'm talking about those weird shaped arms. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. But anyway, it's a good figure. It's fine. But when it comes to putting it in my collection, I'm going to do the smaller ones because I don't have space for these bigger ones. In fact, I still have no idea where I'm putting these, so I got to figure that out. However, while I'm here, since I didn't get to do it for the Metal Sonic video, here's a comparison between the classic Metal Sonic and the classic Sonic. And when you pair them side by side like this, they do look good together. I do really like this a lot. I really wish I would have had this figure in particular when I did this unboxing, but I wasn't prepared at the time. I thought he looked good next to my Sonic Nendoroid. That's all I really wanted. But you can definitely tell that these two were meant to be with each other. So now they are. In fact, because I'm starting to collect these now, this is on my desk for a while because it looked good with the Nendoroid, but that's no longer the case. So we're gonna sadly take this off our desk and put it with the rest of the collection, wherever I decide to put it. But before we move on to the classic Tails, I do want to compare it to one more figure that I'm pretty sure a lot of you will get a blast from the past from. This is the 5-inch classic Sonic from Jazzwares. This was released alongside, like, around when Sonic Generations was first available. I got this at a Target, like, I don't know how long ago, and I am so happy that I still have this figure. I actually had to dig it from the basement and clean it up for the video because it's been rough. And I feel like out of the two, people would definitely prefer the Jazzwares version because it has arm articulation. The arms overall just look better. And I love the side profile a lot on the Jazzwares one as well. But again, personally, I think the Jakks Pacific one is fine. But I don't know how much the Jazzwares one goes for because I've had this since it was available, like, in stores. Like, I remember seeing this at Toys R Us. I remember seeing this at, like, Kmart and stuff like that. But I will say, I do like how thin the legs are in comparison to the Jakks Pacific ones. Like, not a huge fan of that. But the Jakks Pacific one is a lot more available, a lot cheaper, and a lot more vibrant in colors as well. So I can't really recommend one over the other. But I'm very happy that I still have my old one. I was going to put this away. But before I do that, I want to just quickly look at the monitor real quick. It's weird how the base itself is very polygonal. It's kind of like they just pretty much ripped the model from the game, because I guarantee you, like, this is probably from the game. But having that little sticker right there, that's pretty neat. I kind of wish they would have did more variety and added more items to it. And I'm pretty confident they did. It's just, for some reason, this one and this one are the exact same. So, there goes my variety. Thank you. But I love getting the accessories, like, from the bigger figures and then just pairing them with the smaller ones because, I don't know, I like the smaller ones more personally. But we're just gonna put classic Sonic over here for now. Man, he really has a hard time standing, doesn't he? Holy crap. Alright, he's standing. Now let's move on to Tails. Same mumbo jumbo, same accessory and everything. I got it at GameStop. Then on the back, this wave comes with Amy, which I have, Tails, which now I have, SBO, which I've had for a fair bit, and then this is what is it? The new Sonic that comes with the soap shoes. This is a brand new figure. This is technically new. This is a new release thing. 12 points of articulation. Comes with the Power Sneakers item box. They actually got a little bit more specific since they made new ones, so that's cool. And then it says, Tails is an energetic fox and one of Sonic's closest friends. By spinning his two tails together, he can propel himself forward and fly in the air. I can't remember if the modern Tails had the exact same bio or not, but I don't know. That little paragraph sure did sound familiar. Alright, so, same thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with his extra accessory. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It's whatever. Oh! He's kind of trapped in here by his legs. So hold on. Let me quickly turn you around and nip those. There we go. Alright, let's try it again. There we go. Alright, then we just throw those away too. And here is Tails. Now, getting a closer look, for some reason mine has a giant cut on his leg. I don't know if he was just bullied or what happened, but that's going to look a little distracting on the shelf, but that's okay. But overall, Tails looks so stinking cute. You can still move his tails and everything, so you can position it to make sure he like stands up properly. It's not gonna look good when it comes to him trying to like look like he's actually flying or not. Like it's mainly meant for like just standing around and running maybe. But for some reason, like even though his face looks absolutely adorable, like the mouth outline, it does not match up where his mouth actually goes. I bought this on a panic. This is the first time I've seen a classic Tails in the wild, as well as Soap Shoe Sonic, so I just bought them immediately. But pay close attention when you're buying these things. It seems that quality control for Jakks Pacific is going a little bit downhill right now for some reason. But I absolutely love this little Tails. He is so stinking cute. I'm happy to have him in the collection. And this is the same, so we're not going to worry about that. Now, if I compare it to the 2.5-inch one, I love the 4-inch one so much more. That face looks so much better. I feel like if they would have rearranged the pupils on the 2.5-inch one, it would look just as cute, if not better. But because he's just like trying to look up and look, you know, weird, I think the 4-inch one looks so much better. And unfortunately, Jazzwares never released a 5-inch classic Tails, but they did release their 3-inch one, so I want to grab that quick. Because for a long time, this was my only classic Tails figure, and I thought it was absolutely adorable because of that mouth, the way his eyes looked. Like, this is like the first classic Tails figure I ever had, so like this was stinking adorable. I loved this. However, when I compare it to the 4-inch Jakks Pacific one, I can't help but to love the Jakks Pacific one because of how vibrant the colors are. Like, it's an actual accurate color. The face looks adorable. Like, I love his little eyes. The open mouth on the Jazzwares one does look a lot cuter, and I love how it's actually sculpted and everything and not just painted in. But I feel like if I was only allowed to have one of them, I'd probably grab the Jakks Pacific one over the Jazzwares. But I am thankful to have both, I won't lie. And I know Sonic collectors right now really want a, I think it's a collector's classic Tails since they made Sonic and Knuckles. And I'd be excited to see how that would look, but if the 4-inch one already looks so good, I'm pretty confident a collector's one would look even better. And then we have Knuckles. Knuckles comes with the purple Chaos Emerald we needed for a while, the same mumbo jumbo for classic Sonic stuff, and then on the back he comes with 11 points for articulation. Here's the rest of his wave, and we already have these two figures, which I will do an unboxing of King Heavy eventually. I don't know when, but eventually. And I love how Knuckles' bio is, with Chaos Emerald, Knuckles is a red echidna, the last of his tribe. There could have been a little bit more than that, but it's not wrong. Because with this modern one over here, which I do plan on doing a video for this eventually, this one at least says, you know, the same sentence, but then it just adds that he can use his immense strength and the spikes on his fist to smash enemies, climb walls, and even destroy solid rock. That's a fact for the classic one, too. They just got lazy with this one. But anyway, to open it up, I was going to unbox that Knuckles with this Knuckles, but nah, I kind of want to do a full-fledged video for that one because I do want to compare it to the other modern Knuckles that we have in the collection. And it does that same thing back here that they did with the movie figures. I didn't know they did that with the standard classic figures too, but oh well. Because I don't know, how long ago did this one come out? This one came out sometime last year. That's actually even more sad because of how basic that bio was. Sweet lord. Anyway, Purple Chaos Emerald. Looks really cool. I like that. Nothing holding him in, so we can just kick him out. But man, he really wants to stay in the box, doesn't he? Okay, let's lightly get rid of the boxes because I don't want to throw it at Chloe. And there is Knuckles, looking as cute as a button. Look at that. I don't know how to feel about him having an open hand. I kind of wish he would have came with two closed fists, but that's okay. You know what really would have been a good accessory? Coming with the cowboy hat that you would see in the OVA. Now that would have been a nice deep cut thing. I would have really appreciated that one. But his boots look really good. His face looks really good. His overall sculpt looks really good. I think out of the 3, Tails might be my favorite just because he's the stinking cutest. But for any Knuckles fan, this would be a perfect gift for them. Either getting them this or that collector's figure. Like, both of them look really good. Which, speaking of, I still need to get the collector's Knuckles, so if you really want to see me do a video on that, let me know. I have no space for it. It'll just go back into the basement or something. But one day I plan on getting them. Maybe one day I'll have enough room to get more IKEA bookcases and have just one bookcase just dedicated to Sonic. Maybe 2 of them. We don't know. Well, all I know is I collect too many figures and I'm running out of space. But now back to the video. Here's Knuckles. Let's compare him to a couple other Knuckles figures that we have in the collection. Not all of them, but a couple. I would compare these figures to the Nendoroids, but the Knuckles Nendoroid is very fragile and has a hard time standing up by himself without a stand, so I don't even want to touch that thing. So here he is next to the 2.5-inch Knuckles, and yes, the 4-inch one looks so much better. Look at that face. It is so stinking cute. The eyes, the mouth, everything. And even his crest looks a little bit better too. Like, I don't know. As much as I love the 2.5-inch ones, like the 4-inch ones, you can't deny how much better they look because they're able to add more detail. However, that 2.5-inch Knuckles does have closed fists, and I wish I would have got that here too, but again, that's okay. It's fine. But now that the gang's all here, let's put them all next to each other real quick. And here are the classic characters all together. The gang's all here. The Team Sonic, they look so stinking cute. I love them all. However, something I forgot to do was compare them to their modern versions. Whoops! So I got another modern Sonic. I got this one at 2nd and Charles, if you ever heard of that, because it had this little skateboard. And a little fun story. Oh yeah, in the back, there's other wave. That's Hedgehog, blah, blah. Does a homing attack. Cool beans. Okay, let's open this up. But what makes this figure so special to me is the fact that I got this at 2nd and Charles. And that 2nd and Charles that opened up is actually the building where my old Toys R Us used to be, where I used to buy all my Jazzware Sonic figures. So getting a Sonic figure in the same building where I got my old Sonic figures, it was a very special day. Let's get Sonic out of here. And I was told that the face on this modern Sonic looks so much better than the other ones. But honestly, I think it just really depends on, like, the quality of, like, the paint. Because I think so far my favorite face is on the Soap Shoe Sonic, and even then, that's not consistent. Honestly, I'm probably going to use this skateboard with my Nendoroid because I already have ideas for photo shoots for this guy. So we're gonna keep this one aside. But here are classic and modern Sonic figures together. They do look really weird when it comes to scaling, so I'm not going to pair them together in the collection, but I like the 4-inch figures. I think they look fine. And also having a new Sonic with not worn out knees, very nice. Next up, we have the Tails, and the fact that the classic one is taller than the modern one, that is hilarious. It just comes to show the scaling in this setup is very silly. Very silly for sure. And then here is both Knuckles next to each other. This is the older Knuckles. I heard that the newer one has better proportions, especially when it comes to his feet. I'm not entirely sure how true that is. We'll do that video when we get to it. But I think they both look fine. Like, I like the both of them. Like, I don't know. He do got big stompers. He's gonna, you know, squish some big spiders. But I like these. These are cute. And since you hung around for this long, as a big thank you, here's another surprise unboxing. I got this off Amazon. It came with Fang and Tails, and I don't need those figures, so I'm just going to get rid of those. But I just really wanted this Sonic, and I couldn't find them anywhere at the time. So this one does the foot tapping. So he has an articulated toe. I also have a solar-powered figure that does the exact same thing, but it's a little bit noisier. And I have him behind this bookcase, though, on the window, so I can't get him. But I don't know about you, but I think this little Sonic is so stinking cute. I had to get this. But that said, I do want to get the other variations of the 4-inch classic Sonic, like the one where he looks a little bit more determined and one where he has this really ugly, like, I don't know, animated face. I don't know. I want them. I don't need them. But it'd be nice. But you know what would really be nice? if people weren't so noisy outside. It's a few motorcycles. How nice is it outside? 73 and cloudy, so it's not too hot. I can't be angry. But overall, that's the unboxing. Thank you for joining. I do plan on unboxing a lot more figures here pretty soon. I still have a box just full of classic figures I still have yet to unbox. So, once those classic figures are done, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. Because as a Sonic YouTuber, I want to do a Sonic unboxing or some type of Sonic video once a week. I'm running out of product, so we'll figure it out. This is a terrible time to mention this because not everybody's going to make it to the end of the video, but with the new Sonic figgies being out, whenever they do release more of these, I do plan on getting more of them. But if you do want to grab some of these yourself, you can save 5% with KGR5 on the figgies website if you spend at least $50. So if you buy the whole wave of them, you can save 5%. That'll be in a pinned comment if you really want to check that out. That'd mean the world if you did that for me. And I do plan on getting more of these when they do come out because I know they announced, I think, Amy, Supersonic, Eggman, I forget who else they're coming out with. Point is, we're getting them. But if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. The description is going to have our link tree for all of our social media. And thank you for watching. I love you guys to death. And I'll see you on the next one. So peace, peace.